says, we have in Hadith Qudsi, لا يسعني أرضي ولا سمائي بل يسعني قلب عبدي المؤمن. Neither my sky nor my earth contain me. They cannot contain me. They are too little. Although they are very big, still we don't know what's the end of the sky. But compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this physical world is too little. And they cannot contain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. بل يسعني قلب عبدي المؤمن. But the heart of my believing servant can contain me. What does it mean it can contain me? It doesn't mean that it can contain me by stopping me from being in other places or in other hearts. This is not physical container. If I have something and I put it in a container, then if there is another container on the side of that, it cannot contain this. Yes, if I put this object and the container inside another container, yes, the other one also can contain it. But if it is something parallel to it, next to it, it either has to be in this container or in that container. This is about physical containers and physical objects. But when it comes to intellectual objects or spiritual or immaterial ones, it's not necessary to be in one container at each time. For example, a Quranic verse can be in my mind and heart and can be in your mind and heart, without me and you being dependent on each other. A piece of wisdom can be in my heart and your heart, my mind and your mind. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be contained by the heart of believing servant, but without being restricted to that heart so that other people have no God left for them, or thinking that we have brought and we have now control over God, or we have become na'uzu billah greater than God. No. We can have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our heart in the sense that, this is a very important point, in the sense that we can have Him as a complete in full kind of presence in our heart, but in different degrees. Sometimes, many years ago, I used this example. Imagine you have mirrors facing one object. For example, we have a very beautiful flower. These mirrors are in different angles compared to that flower. Some of them are actually facing it with their back, so they don't show anything, they don't reflect anything. Some of them face flower, but partially. They can only reflect part of the flower. But some mirrors face flower completely. you can see full flower in them. But even these mirrors who have turned completely towards flower, and therefore you can see the complete face of flower in them, they can be in different distances. So in some of them you see the flower very little, but it's complete. In some of them you see the flower bigger, and again it is complete. In the case of a flower to have complete and the same size, it's easy, because flower is a small object. You need a mirror the same size or a little bigger and very near. But if you want to see a mountain in mirrors, then you know that you can never have such a huge mirror that fully and at the same time equally project and reflect the mountain. So you may have a small mirror which reflects completely but not equally. So now let's go back to our case. Our heart can become a place for presence of God, a place where light of Allah is completely reflected, but not equally and not exclusively. It's not equally because it's much, much smaller than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it's not exclusively because other people also may have the same experience. But a sky cannot do this. Earth cannot do this. They cannot be having complete or full reflection of Allah. You can see, for example, in a sky and earth, reflection of Allah's knowledge. Maybe you can see reflection of Allah's wisdom. But they don't have themselves knowledge or wisdom. Or you cannot expect them to exhibit divine love or mercy or kindness or generosity. Human beings are in the best position to exhibit Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's qualities. An insan kamil, the complete person, human being, I don't like to say perfect man, but I say complete man, insan kamil, is the one that is able to have maximum reflection of God, as much as a human being can, or any creation can ever reflect Allah.